If you want to be magnetic, I have a secret for you. That's that you already are magnetic. It's just that you might be magnetizing inauthenticity to you. You might be magnetizing what you don't want rather than what you do want. So when it comes to having magnetic energy that is very attractive, that literally draws people, draws things to you, it's about just understanding that you already are. It's just about getting in alignment with who you really are meant to be. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 things you must give up to have magnetic AF energy. It's not really about what you pile on, but it's what you let go of that allows this energy to come towards you. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things you must let go of in order to have energy that is so magnetic that you attract things to you. Now, before we do that though, I just want to specify, think about a magnet. A magnet can do something like magnetize, but it can also, if you flip the polarity, it can repel. And that's not always a bad thing. Imagine that you were repelling people that were trying to drain your energy. Imagine you're repelling narcissists, right? Do you want to attract narcissists? Do you want to attract certain types of people into your life? The answer is that no. It's a good thing when you are really being yourself that some people are polarized away from you. And one of the ways you do this is by really getting in alignment with who you're meant to be and letting go of all the authenticity, the inauthenticity that may be there. Because if we are being authentic, or if we're being not authentic, we're going to attract other people who are not authentic. So this is something to really think about. I realized that in my own life, one thing I've really been shedding, and I have shed this last year, was some inauthentic parts of my personality. One of them was that back in the day, like when I was growing up, the masculine role model I had growing up was actually my dad, who was and is a stereotypical nice guy. Someone that's really nice, doesn't go with attention. It's funny, I'm here in Sedona right now. I just got a place here. I took my dad, let me show you guys. I'm not saying this to brag. I don't know if you guys could see that little thing right there, that little ATV. I brought my dad in that ATV. And as we were going around the trails here, anyone we passed that let us go around, he'd be like, thank you so much, thank you so much. It was just so funny. I'm like, dude, this is the pattern that I used to have too. I felt obligated to be super nice to everybody, but realize this, being nice isn't bad, but it's when it's coming from a place like I want to please other people. It's maybe not always authentic. So the nice guy and the people pleaser is trying to be nice to other people in exchange for validation and support. But here's the funny thing. If you have that pattern going on or that program going on, you'll find that you'll then many times attract narcissists or people that will take advantage of that because that's their inauthentic part of it. So growing up, my dad attracted my ex-stepmom, who is a narcissist, who is crazy, controlling, manipulative, was in my life from 7 to 16 years old. And that also, they say that parent pleasing is where people pleasing comes from. So from having to be good enough was what caused that in the first place. And then that is the one-on-one reflection. So you actually want to repel just as much as you want to attract. But the way that I've repelled narcissists in my own life is by actually having very strong boundaries and being in my own frame, being in a strong frame. Narcissists want everything coming towards their frame, whereas people pleasers and empaths don't have a frame. So I'm going to share with you a trick, and the biggest transformation that has ever happened in my life was by applying a little practice that I'll share with you. I've shared it in a couple other YouTube videos. But in general, the main thing that I wanted to share is that if you want to really have very magnetic energy, one of the things you need to let go of is needy energy, being needy and being codependent, which is where the people pleaser comes from, which is where the nice guy comes from. And the way that you do this is you let go of attachment. Now think about it. When you were a kid, that's when normally the neediness started. You needed one of your parents who may or may not have been there. And then as you needed them, what happens is then you go into life and then you figure out that you need someone else in your life to be happy. You need their validation. You need their support. And that attachment is what causes you to be needy. Think about it. Have you ever liked someone and then maybe you started becoming very needy and you started really wanting their approval or wanting them to text you back and then you messed it up? Have you ever had it to where maybe you were attracted to someone and then they were needy and then you just weren't attracted anymore? because the neediness is attachment, and attachment is not attractive. You think about the stereotypical cool guy, right? You see the thing back in, like, I don't know, it was the 90s. You see like the cool guy with the leather jacket. It's just chilling, doesn't care about a thing in the world. And all the girls in school are attracted to him because he is not attached. He's not attached to the outcome. His cup is already full. So the key to this is understanding that the first thing you must give up is attachment to either the mother wound or the father wound. The attachment to either of these things is keeping that in your life by you are searching for it in other people. I realized that back about 8 months ago, before I went through a huge transformation from the simple exercise I'm going to share with you, I would make my relationships very important. I would have it to where the girl that I'm dating, I would give her a lot, and it was almost coming from this people pleaser mentality, and I wasn't centered in my own frame. I would then a lot of times allow the feminine to then set the frame, and I would kind of tune and kind of like try to change to that. And that was because growing up, the ex-stepmom situation, that was such a strong frame that that felt familiar. But then what I did is I started healing that inauthenticity, and as I let go, and I really had to let go and forgive the mother, like the way I related to mother energy and feminine energy, as I forgave, that's when the energy came back to me, and that's when now I've been more in my own energy than ever before. So letting go of neediness is key to being attractive, and the way you let go of neediness is you let go of attachment. The attachment to the mother, the attachment to the father. And what you do is you realize that you are already whole and complete just for being you, and as you start to go in your own body, which we'll talk about in a minute, that makes all the difference in the world. So for this as well, the second thing I want to talk about is understanding the frame. The frame, I wrote it down on my iPad. The frame control. So I found that I would attract, related to a lot of this is the inner child work. When you heal your inner child, your energy begins to change. I realized that because of the whole ex-stepmom situation, with her having a strong frame, I had a lack of frame. Which this means is I wasn't leading in my own life. I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, and I had very hard time setting boundaries. Now, what I've realized though is now that I am more in my body than ever before, because what happens is a lot of times empathic people, they go through trauma when they're growing up, or something happens and they move out of their bottom 3 chakras into their top ones. They become super intuitive and they can pick up on everybody else, but they don't know what they're feeling. They just know what everyone else is feeling, and they're trying to modify to that. So what I've had to learn to do is I've had to learn how to have boundaries and how to go more inside of my own body. And as I've been doing this, my energy has completely transformed to the point to where some people have reached out to me, watched my older videos on YouTube, people that know me personally, and they've said, wow, you're like a different person than you were a year ago. And a lot of that was me going more inside of my own body and not spiritual bypassing as much. I think that happens a lot in spirituality. As people go through a spiritual awakening, they become all about 5D consciousness, but then they neglect their own body. They neglect their own understanding what they really want or desire. And when you go more inside of your body and you start realizing that a lot of people are projecting their shit onto you, that's when you could start to draw the boundaries and be like, okay, this isn't okay. If you allow people to take advantage of you and you allow things and you say you're going to do things that you don't really want to do, it's inauthentic. And it's allowing people to have more power than they should have. So one of the most, especially for the masculine in life, if you're a guy listening to this, you being in your own frame and you leading in that way allows the feminine to feel safe. Now, all men and women have both masculine and feminine energies inside of them. So it's either taking down the feminine shield, taking down the masculine shield. But this is key for polarity, because think about it in sexual attraction. Sexual attraction comes from polarity. So as I become more inside of my own body, as I become more leading in my life, have things that are okay, things that are not okay, that then allows a frame for the feminine to come in and then relax. That was completely different because back in the day, I was changing myself to like give value or help or try to fix the feminine. I'd attract women that felt like I needed to fix. So as I've been working on these energies, it's changed everything because now my cup is full. Now another part of this is I had to let go of the feminine wall that I had up. I was realizing that I'd normally attract women that had a masculine wall up, where they were afraid of the masculine, so they had masculine energy activated inside them. The reason they were afraid of the masculine is because maybe something happened with one of their dad or an ex-boyfriend or something like that, so they had a wall up. Me, I had the ex-stepmom situation, so I had a feminine wall up because I was afraid that I don't want someone to control me. I don't want somebody to come in and do what my ex-stepmom did to my dad. That was a wall, so what I had to do is I had to forgive that. I had to forgive it and realize that that was a unique situation, but forgive and realize that she was doing the best she can with where she was. And as I forgave, that energy released up. And as that energy released up, now I am able to get more intimate. I'm able to feel closer. So it's a huge dynamic change. But really the name of the game with this whole thing of 3 things you got to give up, it's really about giving up inauthenticity, but becoming aware of that inauthenticity. The more, if you study, it's funny. Now that I've gone through this transformation, this energy transformation, the third one I'm going to be sharing with you is, I think, going to change everything for you. And I've shared it a couple times, but it's just so powerful. But I used to read and I used to look into watch videos like people that were like either pickup artists or like what got results, because I was so confused because I was feeling that resistance inside of myself. And what I did is I would study this stuff, and while some of it seemed very manipulative, some of it seemed like didn't resonate. There was some truth in like the confidence that people would get by like going out into the unknown and like doing things outside of their comfort zone. It would change their sense of identity, and that used to fascinate me. So I'd read different books, and the thing that I learned though is that now that I've gone through this transformation, there is no technique. There is no pick-up line. There is none of that. It is simply about being. And when you are being from your body, being in energy of who you really are, that is attractive. So it is no pickup line. It is no this to be magnetic. It is no this. It's not like don't call him back, or I don't know what all the techniques are. It's an energy behind it. You may not call someone back that you didn't resonate with, so that may have been authentic for you and may make you more magnetic. You see what I mean? Like, it's if it's real and authentic. So for me, now that I'm in my body more, there's nothing else extra that I'm doing. I'm doing everything I normally did, but it's coming from a new frame. It's coming from a new energy. It's coming from the frame that I'm already worthy, whole, and complete. It's coming from the frame with whatever I do, I just own it. And I have boundaries, and there are things that are okay, and there are things that aren't okay. And that's one of the biggest things. Now, I've done this exercise many times. I go out in public, and I do this thing that my shadow work integration coach taught me. And it's very simple. And it's for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning. What I do is I stare at a candle flame. I feel the separation between me and the flame. This is what many of you need to hear to be more magnetic, is to actually feel the separation between you and other people, because you've probably normally felt the connection. You feel such a connection that it then becomes kind of manipulative because you're changing your energy to them. But when what you do instead is you feel the separation, then you can then feel safe in your own body, and you feel the beauty of your individuality. Remember, people feel what you feel. People feel what you feel about you. So if you are feeling in your own body and you're feeling content, you're feeling happy, and you're okay with that, and you feel good about that, then other people will feel that. If you're feeling negative emotion, but you're okay, you're allowing that negative emotion to come up, then it will naturally resolve. But you see, the key to this is people feel what you feel about you. So how can you get more inside of your own body and actually feel the separation between you and other things? So what I do is I do this simple meditation. I stare at a candle flame. I feel the separation between me and the candle flame. And what I do is on the in-breath, feel inside of my own body. I feel that sense of self. And then I feel the separation. Then I bring other people into my life to mind. Maybe family members, maybe friends, maybe relationship, whoever it is. And I actually feel the separation and the beauty of that separation. And what that does is that brings the energy back to me. Then when people throughout my day or my week are like, hey, Aaron, do you want to do this? I go inside of my body, because now I'm more in my body, and I say, do I want to do this? And the answer may be yes or maybe no. And if the answer is no, I don't say yes because that's inauthentic. I say, you know what, I'm going to pass. And then a lot of times they'll respect that, even if they wish I was there. So it's a funny energy thing, but being in your body is the key. When I go out in public, I go to Whole Foods or I go on a hike, and I pass people, the old me would have seeked validation. Would have been like, hey, how are you? And even though if I didn't feel like saying it. Now, I just go inside of my own body. The funny thing is, by being in my body, I have more attractive magnetic energy. People want to talk to me. People are even nicer than they normally were, because I'm not trying to manipulate people and trying to get people to say hi to me for my own sake of validation. So as I've gone more in my body and felt safe in my own body, that has allowed me to become more attractive, become more magnetic. If you want me to make a meditation on this exact meditation practice that has changed my life, like this video and comment below. Let me know, because I will consider it. Something I may do. So with that being said, that's the key to having magnetic energy. Also, raising your vibration is key. Here's a video here, the most powerful meditation for raising your dominant vibration permanently. Click that video, listen over 21 days, watch how it changes your life. I'll also link it below. And raising your vibe is magnetic. Going after your passion is magnetic. Letting go is magnetic. These are all magnetic things, but the most magnetic thing is when you are being you. Unapologetically, no strings attached. So hope you guys enjoyed that video, and as always, peace, much love, and namaste.